It's James Carter TV here to recap the Thursday night football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. And if you saw this game, you must have been thinking like me during the fourth quarter and overtime, does anyone want to win this game? I mean, hell, even throughout the entire second half and parts of the first half, this was a very blah football game. I mean, I saw Skip Bayless tweet on Twitter, "Wow, what a football game." And it was close. I mean, I guess it was somewhat entertaining and seeing, okay, who's just going to win this game. But this is not what I characterize as good football. Just because the score is close, just because it was an overtime game, I don't think this is very good football. I don't think, and not that I don't appreciate a defensive battle, but ask yourself, were the defenses really good or were the offenses really bad? I think it was more bad offense than really good defense or anything like that. So it wasn't like this was a defensive battle. Oh, what a great defensive battle between the Ravens and the Steelers. No, both offenses just weren't very good. And Michael Vick is going to come out of this game and people are going to be saying, see, they can win with Michael Vick. I mean, what evidence is there to suggest that? Michael Vick was 19 for 26. 124 yards. That's right, 124 yards on 26 attempts. That's about 5.5 yards per attempt. And he's lucky his completion percentage was even that high. If you saw this game, all Michael Vick did was one read, oh, it's not there, check down. That was it. There's nothing that you need to figure out here, nothing trickery, none of that here. He didn't even run the ball very well. He took too many unnecessary sacks that weren't really on the offensive line. He just held the ball too long. I mean, as a quarterback, you're supposed to have an internal clock that tells you, okay, it's time to throw the football away. It's time to leave the pocket. Michael Vick doesn't have that, and he's 35 years old. At this point, it's not going to develop. And at 35 years old, this guy can't make progressions. He can't go to his second and third reads. It's just one read, no, check down. That's it. That's all we're getting from Michael Vick at this stage in his career. What is this, 2002? I mean, I'm very disappointed in Michael Vick's performance today, and it really concerns me going forward. Good thing for him, he has Le'Veon Bell behind him, we can hand the ball to, we can check down to, and Le'Veon Bell will make him look like a better quarterback than he is. But Michael Vick still has a lot of deficiencies this late in his career, and if you're a Steelers fan, you have to be concerned because especially you had plenty of opportunities to win this football game. The Pittsburgh Steelers should have won this football game on 3 occasions. Number 1, I believe it was 4th and 2 in overtime period, or maybe it was in the fourth quarter. But anyway, okay, they do a little Michael Vick rollout. They're stuffed. Josh Scobie misses a field goal in the fourth quarter. 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, I just gave him a little bit too much credit. And then, and then another play, 4th and 1. The Steelers were stuffed as Michael Vick throws an inaccurate pass to Antonio Brown. I mean, wildly inaccurate. I mean, egregiously, sacrilegiously, horribly inaccurate pass that will never be completed ever unless if you're throwing to Calvin Johnson or Julio Jones. And because of those 4 instances, the Steelers lost this game. If any one of those 4 plays would have worked to the Steelers' favor, this game would have been won by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you can question some of those Mike Tomlin calls, and I certainly do, but not really his decision to go for it. Actually, maybe I shouldn't even blame him. I don't know who really has the final say on a play call. Is it him or is it Todd Haley? Because regardless on the 4th down calls, obviously the missed field goals, they aren't his fault. I mean, Josh Scobie just sucks. But on the missed field goals, or not on the missed field goals, on the 4th down attempts, I don't know if those play calls were his decision, if they were Todd Haley's decision, if Todd Haley says, yo, Mike, is this okay? And he's like, yeah, bruh, that's alright. And then they run it. I don't know if Todd Haley just picks something, runs with it, and then it fails. But either way, these were just bad calls. And the Ravens, they didn't even want to take advantage. I mean, 2 opportunities in the fourth quarter to take advantage after 2 Josh Scobie missed field goals. The first one, they failed, okay? 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down, fail. Gave the ball back to the Steelers. Steelers miss another field goal. Ravens then get to throw like 2 passes, move down the field, tie the game with a field goal. And by the way, John Harbaugh, you won this game. You're not off the hook either, because in the third quarter, you guys were down 14-20. You were at, I believe, like the 25-yard line, or maybe even past that, maybe more like the 21. And instead of kicking an easy field goal, you decided to get a fake field goal attempt in there. That fails. You come back, you get a field goal, and then you stress the hell out of your offense to get another one. You could have, that field goal, if you would have got it back then, would have made things a lot easier on your team. I know that much, but whatever. You got away with it. And I know people are going to say that, well, this wasn't a very impressive win for the Ravens, and you're right, but I've seen teams win games like this. Like Indianapolis Colts, they make a living off of this. Win games where you're not sold, but they're going to keep getting wins, and you're still not going to be sold. But the Ravens are still at least a 500 team in the NFL. I mean, they're going to be 500, 7-9 at worst, and they're going to start rifling off the wins. They have the Browns next week. That's a win for them. But Joe Flacco did not play very well this week. Steve Smith had a little lower back injury, didn't play at all in like the second half, or overtime period. So hopefully they can get him back healthy, because if not, that's going to be even more of a problem for their offense. I mean, Kamara Aiken is their best target. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But also, they're going to get back Eugene Monroe, their left tackle. They've been missing him on the left side. James Hurst has been on that side. Hasn't been doing a very good job. So Eugene Monroe comes back, Steve Smith back healthy. Then you're going to see the Ravens get some wins. I think they've dug themselves a little bit too much of a hole at 0-3, but they're still a playoff contender in the AFC, as I don't see two definite wild cards right now in the AFC. I mean, right now, if I had to project, I'd say the Bills and the Jets. But those are, as you can assume, are very suspect. You can't trust those teams to be a definite wild card team. So the Ravens are still in the mix, and they'll continue to be in the mix throughout the season. So anyway, as for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they're in trouble. I mean, I saw nothing from Michael Vick today. I think it was check down Charlie. I think you could have called Vince Young and he would have gave this to you. I think you would have called Charlie Batch and he would have gave this to you. I mean, I'm not impressed. I think this was a very pedestrian, a very below average, very yuck, very blah performance from Michael Vick. If this was 2001, I still wouldn't be impressed. I mean, this is not a good performance by Michael Vick. Anyway, so there you go. James Carter TV. Baltimore Ravens beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-20. Okay, sure. I don't think it was very good. Maybe you did. Comment down below. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.